Hello and welcome. My name is Dmitry Markolov, aka at Dmitry Make Love, and you're listening to an episode of Faucets of Reality. Let's begin.
I just thought I'd hop on here and talk about certain things I've been thinking this week. So there's just a few points I want to hit. I don't want to make this too long or anything. So the first thing, I think this will come in handy to anyone listening, which is the dumbest way to instantly be more attractive. It's so simple. And I'm saying anyone can use this. Like, whether you're a girl or boy, or whatever age you are, nationality, where you are in the world, your history, like, it doesn't matter. It's so simple. All you gotta do is smile. I mean, it's a difference between walking around like this and then just smile, and the whole world smiles with you, right? Is that what it is? Right, Alki? What do you think? So that's tidbit number one. The next one is, by the way, I'm doing an Instagram live right now, and I'm gonna publish this as a podcast episode, hopefully soon. So, like, I'm just trying this new thing out. We'll see what happens. Yeah, as my mom's been saying recently, she's been saying joy is a choice. You can choose to be happy right now. It's a choice. You can choose how you feel right now. Okay, so the second thing is what is a poet? And I heard it said one time that a poet is not someone who writes words that rhyme. Because when we hear the word poet, we think like, oh, you just write words. You write words, and usually they rhyme, right? They have like a certain rhythm to it. Well, I'm here to say that a poet is someone who lives life poetically. Does that make sense? Like, in other words, you find the beauty in little things. You see things that maybe other people look away from, but you look at it and you see the beauty in it. Just that it's existing. Just that it's there in front of you. Everything has a beauty to it. And as a poet, as an artist, we see the beauty in it. You see the beauty and you hold it up. You let everyone see it. And so it's so similar to being like an entrepreneur, which literally means you take material or capital of like a lower yield. In other words, something that isn't valued that much, and you literally transform it into something that has a lot of value. I always think about in the 80s they had the pet rocks. Do you remember that? This dude made like millions of dollars selling rocks because he just came up with this idea of like a pet rock. So you get a rock and you just make like a face on it, and it has a personality. Isn't that funny? Look at these ducks. So sweet. Alright. What's next? Anyways, yeah, just, be a poet, I think that it's like a muscle that you kind of flex and then you get better at, and then you start seeing like the silver lining. Like literally it's your choice how you want to look at things, And yeah, I know there's so many factors, and there's, like moods and all these things, and your history and all these things, but like in this moment you can choose to be happy, choose for yourself to make the world a little bit better, even if it's just for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're happy, then it'll spread to others. It has to start with you. This is the times we're living in. This is the age of Aquarius. It's an individual thing at this point. Nobody's gonna help you or come and save you. You have to do it yourself. I'm not the first to say that. I know I'm not. I know you've heard this before, but I'll say it again. Okay, moving on. Hold on a second. Okay, next point I want to make is that creativity is rebellion. Do you get that? Do you get that? Any artist, any poet, they go against the status quo. And in so doing, you create new possibilities. You create new, like an expansive feeling of like a worldview. And anyone who taps into that, then they see that there's a different way you can go about things. There's another path you can take. And it just expands the realm of what's possible. So everything in society, it's all been made by someone. Someone thought it up, they made it, right? So they had an idea, they spoke about it, and then they reproduced it in the real world. So that's creativity. You're creating things. All starts with an idea. All starts with a thought. And it's not our own. Any artist will tell you it's not theirs. It's like you try to claim it, it loses its value. It's for everyone. It's everyone's. But yeah, it is a rebellion though, because you're going against how things are normally done, or against how everyone else is doing it. You're specifically not conforming. You're specifically, blazing your own trail, walking to the beat of your own drum. You're specifically, going the other way. Creativity, art, it's literally like going the other way. And people might not understand why you're doing it, but that's okay, because like Rick Rubin says, it's for you. It doesn't matter what people think. You're never gonna know what other people truly think. They might tell you things, they might praise you, or they might, criticize you. But you're never gonna truly know what someone thinks, right? So use what you have. mean, do it for you. Do it for you. Like Rick Rubin says, art should be like a diary entry. It's not meant for anyone else to read. Like, it's meant to be more of a self-reflection and like a building and of who you are, and like it's sort of like you were exploring your inner world. You're exploring what's within, and you're bringing it out into the external. That's art, so you're making something spiritual, something real, like a feeling, into something artificial, into something that can exist on its own in this world. When you do that, for one thing, you take it out of your being, you make it into a thing, and then you can look at it. You can look at it objectively. You're creating basically I don't know how to say it. Like it's like when I've written poems, like I'll just be in a mood and I just have to get it out. Like I just have to write it down or something. Some people, talk it out, whatever, but I started writing it out, and then whatever, days, months, weeks, years later, I'll come back to that poem and I'll be like, wow, like, dang, I was going through something, I was going through something there, and it was so real, it was so hurtful, and it was so massive and important, and like, just overtook me, it's like, so important that what I'm going through, and it's like this whole like it's like I don't know, it's like it's really just, it's kind of like, I don't know, how do I say it? I guess I'll say it like this. It's almost like we don't really know what we're going through subconsciously, right? Unconsciously. We don't really have a way to look at it. And so that's why it's hard to grow. It's hard to actually get out of those things. So again, creativity is rebellion. In other words, it's gonna feel wrong at first. It's gonna be a rebellion. It's like you're going against what you've been taught. You're going against what everyone taught you. Whoa, what's going on over there? Wait, hold on. Never mind. Okay, that was it, I guess. So back to what I was saying. It's you're going against what you've been taught, which is don't speak your mind. Like people are gonna get offended and all this stuff. Like, you're not doing it for them, okay? Like, go into like a place where it's just you and just write down. Just let it just pour out of you. Just like write it, or draw it. If some people are more visual. Me, I'm very word oriented, like ever since I was little. Like I spoke my first word when I was 8 years old, so words have always been like just something very magical to me, something that I find very potent, yeah, I mean, with one word you can just like create this mood or this like world almost, like excellence or something, or like the forest. Like I just say that and you just have this image in your head right away, right? You kind of know what that is. So yeah, it's a rebellion. You have to go against. You have to just do the thing that you don't want to do. Yeah, it's difficult. Like, I mean, I guess it could be, but when you do it more, you get better at it. Just like anything else, like the Chinese proverb, that everything has to be hard before it gets easy. It has to be hard at first. That's the whole world. And it's going to be awkward. It's going to be cringy at first, you know. You're like, ooh, like, this is so, like, gross. Like, oh my gosh, you know. But that's okay. Everything was cringy at first. Like, I'm sure I'm cringy to someone right now or something. And that's fine. Like, I embrace the cringe at this point. Like, embrace it. Like, that's your real self. Like, when you're awkward or strange, like, be strange or be forgotten. Okay, that's probably enough on that. Alright. Creativity is rebellion. Okay, moving on. So, next thing I want to say, and this is actually like my second principle of this book that I keep talking about, but the system is basically complete. So the second principle is that separation is an illusion. So it talks about duality. It talks about the fire of being. If you see that in this illusion, in the external, so to speak, everything is split into two. That's why you need, you know, a mother and a father for you to be born. There's you know, I see all these. I'm looking at birds and they're always in pairs, right? Why is that? Why is there a yes and a no? Why is there a left and a right? You know, hot and cold, right? So for something to exist in the world, it has to be polarized. You understand what I'm saying? It has to be polarized. You have to be polarizing. Anyone who's ever great, they had people, they had enemies, they had adversaries, they had people who were against them. They had people who didn't believe them, you know? Just the same, they had people who did believe them and were supportive of them. It's like both at the same time. You know, I heard Theo Von say recently, he goes like, life will give you, you know, it'll give you lemons in one hand, and with the other hand it'll like punch you in the face. It's hilarious, but it's like there's a grain of truth, and every joke has its truth, right? So there's duality. There is a duality. So reality, as we know it, out here in the world, is an illusion. In other words, that you, the real you, somewhere in between all the different polarities. You have the hot, right? You can be hotter or you can be colder, but you're like where you are right now. You're right in the middle, you know? Like your consciousness. And clearly, to have a body, we have to have a gender, right? This is why that's one of the Hermetic laws. The law of gender. That everything has its male and its female counterbalance. Not that they have to be in conflict or fight, it's just that they have two different roles. Just like fire and water, you know. It's not that one is better than the other. They both need to exist at the same time. Okay? So yeah, reality is an illusion, but if you balance, if you meditate, you find that middle ground, you know, you start acting from your heart. Your heart is like unity. Your heart is the oneness. But our minds, logic, words, they necessarily work on this duality. They actually, that's what they do. It's like there's two hemispheres of the brain, right? Emotions have a logic to them, and logic has a feeling to it, right? Like it's not that it's not that they just seem separated. That is the illusion, right? They seem like they're two different things. There's a war going on, and one has to win, right? But no, it's not. It doesn't have to be a war. It doesn't have to be like. It doesn't have to be aggressive, you know. It doesn't have to be conflict anymore. It doesn't. I think it did in this last Piscean age, but we're in the age of Aquarius now. All this war stuff, it's like so. It's like so 1700s. Like, you know, it's 2024 right now, man. Like, come on, we gotta stop fighting. You know, like this is. We all stand on the same land, you know? We're all the same tribe. This whole planet. And it's like, with the internet, it's like... Isn't it obvious, you know? But again, you know, like, this is an illusion. I'm not saying this to scare you or something. I'm saying this to empower you. Because... once you understand your true sovereignty... you can change it. You can consciously, with your will, rearrange things. You can make it different. Make it however you want it to be. See, that guy agrees. Mm-hmm. So like in the tarot, you know, the first card is the Fool, and then the one card, because the Fool is the 0, but then the 1 is the Magician, and that is the Magician is the one who controls the illusion. So be a magician. Simply put, be a magician. Create magic. Create, you know, what is it? It's like, you know, willpower is very important in magic. If you can, and intention, like that's like the most important thing. Like, what is your intention? What is your intention? What are you trying to create here? Yes, that's all you need to know. Like, what do you want to create? Like, what do you want to experience? You can create that for yourself, and it's endless. Like, it's infinite. It goes on forever. You know. Okay, I think I have one more thing to say. Before I do, though, check out my poetry book. I think I'm gonna be going all into this, and tell someone, you know, just tell one person if you are getting any value from me or my content. Just tell one person. I mean, you know, this is helping you. Like, it can help them, and then we can all be together. You know. Finally, and this is kind of a big one I've been pondering on. I'm not gonna yet reveal where I got this from, but it's kind of like I made this a mantra for myself, and it's simply that it goes like this: I feel safe being seen. Okay? Feel safe being seen. We are deeply programmed to, I mean, just like for generations, like it goes way back, that when you were exposed to a lot of people, you kind of closed up and you felt like, oh, like someone could attack you or something, you know? So we didn't want to be seen, so we hid. So we would hide away. Actually, I think a lot of us were underground for many thousands of years, actually. Literally, there's all these tunnels apparently in the earth. But I digress. Feel safe being seen. Right now, our brain is like, no, like people can't, they shouldn't see me or whatever. But like, they should. You have a gift to offer, and I mean, this is how people are making so much money just like talking at the camera. I thought I'd give it a try. Not that, I just want to make money or something, but I need to get more comfortable, you know what I mean? So yeah, those were the things I wanted to say. I'm sure I could expound on that. I'm sure you could too. Let me know your thoughts. Let's have conversations. And let's feel free. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time.